Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this tutorial I am going to explain you what are the booleans in Python in brief. So without further ado, let's get into it. In programming, you often need to know if an expression is true or false. So the boolean represents one of the two values which are either true or a false. We can also evaluate any expression and get one of these two answers. When we are comparing two values, the expression is evaluated and the Python returns the Boolean answer. So here are some examples. In this we are using the comparison operator on the two integers. So the result of these print functions will be the Boolean value. Let me show you how to use the Booleans in Python. This is the Python command prompt, and we are going to use the comparison between two integers which will return a Boolean value. So for that we have to use the print function to print the result and in bracket two values. So one will be the 10, the comparison operator which is greater than or equal to, so greater than 8. If we hit enter, this returns to be the Boolean value which is true. In the next example we will use the similar, but in this case we will use the less than operator. As now this condition is false, so it will return the false Boolean output. Similarly, we can use this on strings also. We can use this on string data type. So use the print function. Our first will be green equal to green. So after hitting enter, it is appearing to be true because the two strings that we are comparing are equal. Similarly, if we change any of the string, when we hit enter, it will appears to be the false because in this case both the strings are different and we are using the equal to operator to compare both the strings. Our next topic is bool function in Python. So bool method is used for returning or converting a value to a Boolean value, either true or a false, using the standard true testing procedure. So here are some examples of a bool function. So in this case we are converting the string. In this case we are converting the output into a Boolean value. The bool function in general takes only one parameter on which the standard truth testing procedure can be applied. If we pass no parameters, then by default it will return as a false. So passing a parameter is optional. It can return one of the two values which are either true or false. Let me show you how to use the bool method in Python. In this example, we will be assigning x equal to 100 and y equal to red. So on these two, we will be using the bool function. So in this case, we will print our first print bool of in bracket x. After hitting enter, it is giving the output as a true. Again we will use bool of y. Again it is printing true. In this case we will assign y as a empty string. So in this case y equals to the empty string. Just hit enter. Again we will print the Boolean of y. So it is appearing to be the false. From this example you have understood that the most of the values are true. Almost any value is evaluated to be true if it has some sort of a content. Any string is true except the empty string that we have seen in the previous example. Any number is true except 0. For validation, now we will assign x as a 0 value. So x equals to 0 and we will now print bool function for x variable. After hitting enter, as you can see, it is giving the output as a false. So here are some few cases in which the Python's Boolean method returns a false value. Except this, all other values returns the true value. The first one is if a false value is passed. The other one is if none value is passed, if an empty sequence is passed, if a 0 value is passed that we have seen in our previous example, if an empty mapping is passed. So these are some following conditions in which the Python's bool method will return a false value. We will see this one by one. For the first example, we will pass a false value to the Boolean method. So just type false. As you can see, it will give the output as a false. The next example is we will pass a none value. So just type none. Again it will show the false. And when we pass the empty sequence, so in this case we will pass a empty sequence. After hitting enter, again it is showing the false value. Now we will pass a empty mapping. So just print the empty mapping. After hitting enter, again it is giving the false output. We can also create a function that will return a Boolean value that we will see in our upcoming videos. I hope you got the clear understanding what are the Booleans in Python and how we can use a bool method with some simple exercise. I hope you like my video, so please subscribe to my channel to get notified for the all upcoming Python tutorials.